We chose for our meeting point a quaint fishing port near Inverness. And I was the first to arrive in an Alfa Romeo GTV6. Now, you would imagine that when one of these comes onto the market, classic car enthusiasts are running around like they're in a zombie movie and it's Black Friday. But no, I bought this from an 83-year-old man who'd had it since new and was only selling it because his 84-year-old wife found it so difficult to get in and out of, you know. It's only done 26,000 miles, and yet it cost £10,000. And £10,000, that's a round of drinks in the world where this sort of thing belongs. Oh, hello. James May in a Lancia Gamma Coupe. It's one of the prettiest cars ever made, but don't tell him I said that. Morning, May. How much?
£13,500.
Oh, so £3,500 more than I paid for this vastly superior Alfa Romeo.
Well, £13,500 is a bargain for a car that is coach-built and extremely rare and beautiful.
But it isn't exotic like this is.
What do you mean it's not exotic?
OK, may I just talk you through some of this car's features, yes? Transaxle, gearbox at the back, twin plate clutch, discs all round,
Wow.
unusual at the time. One of the best engines ever made, 2.5-litre V6. Those aren't my words, by the way. They are the words of James May in Car Magazine.
Yes, I did
You
say
love
that.
this engine.
I do.
And this has won the European Touring Car Championship 4 years on the trot. It won the British Touring Car Championship.
This has got race breeding as well.
What, the Gamma?
It's a Lancia. They're the most successful rallying team in history. Not my words, the words of Jeremy Clarkson. And that is a better-looking car.
What than this?
Yes.
It is superb.
It's not superb.
I tell you what's not superb. Richard Hammond arriving in a Fiat X19. How much?
£2,250.
Somebody saw you coming, Hammond.
What? For a baby Ferrari? 2,200...
Did you just call it a baby Ferrari?
He did.
Because it is mid-engined Italian. It's exactly what it is.
Well, listen to that sound.
I know.
That is the reassuring sound of tin on Russian steel.
It's a light, bright, effervescent sound, just like the car.
How many colours has this car been? It was black, then it was red, then it was white, then it was pale blue, and now it's purple.
I'd like to add, actually, it's not how many colours has this car been, how many cars has this been?
Well, quite. It's now going brown.
Brown, yeah.
All right, then, I'm not going to turn around and try and work out which Alfa you've bought.
The best
Oh,
Alfa.
it's a GTV6.
Exactly.
Yep. Why has it got this plastic bit in the middle of the bonnet?
Genius. The engine in this car had a small issue. It used to backfire, well, front fire actually, and blow the top off the engine, yeah? So that would damage the bonnet. So they put this plastic panel, which was easier to replace.
Why didn't they stop it backfiring?
Oh, don't be ridiculous.
They were busy.
Lazy. Can I just ask, what's that broom handle thing for?
Well, now, this is another characteristic of the GT-V6, is that when you park up, you need to keep the clutch pedal depressed, using a broom handle like that.
Right.
Otherwise, the clutch and the flywheel will fuse together.
I see.
You know, I used to own one of these. There's not a lot I don't know about it.
Yeah. When you used to own one of these,
Yeah.
how did you find the gear change?
Smooth, snicky.
No, it wasn't, was it?
No, those aren't quite the right words.
Terrible. What about second?
Yeah, second. I don't know, I never found it.
No, exactly.
Yes, let's not get bogged down with some of the Alfa's minor design flaws.
Disasters.
Because all three of us have got classic cars
I have, yes.
for good money. We're in Scotland, so why don't we take them on a drive in... Well, let's be honest, Scotland is just a road trip.
Well,
I agree.
we could, while we're here, we could do the NC 500. Which, I mean, that is, it's...
Voted by Condé Nast Traveller magazine, voted it the best road trip in the world last year.
Locks, mountains, it's just...
All the pretty bits, yeah.
no, it's all the best bits of Scotland, right?
Yeah.
500 miles round the north coast of Scotland.
in Italian exotic.
This is my choice.
And before we've even begun, here it is. The Subaru Impreza is the best, and that's that. It just is.
At this point, James arrived with one of his favourite things, a contrary opinion.
That is a fantastic car, Hammond. The Subaru is superb. It's not quite as fantastic as what I've brought, which is a Mitsubishi Evo.
Yes, and if you're on an actual rally special stage or a racetrack, the Evo is brilliant. But the fact remains, to get home again, you would take the Subaru because it's just more suited to the real world somehow. It's more calm.
Calm?
Yes.
Who wants a calm rally car?
This twat.
At this point, Jeremy demonstrated that he hadn't been listening to himself.
Hello! Didn't you say that you had to bring the best rally car?
It is. It's an Audi Quattro.
That's not an Audi Quattro.
It is!
Where does it say Quattro on that?
It doesn't.
Because it isn't one.
There you go.
Listen, it doesn't say the Duke of Marlborough on the Duke of Marlborough. But we know he is the Duke of Marlborough because his ancestor won a battle. And that car's ancestor won a battle. Twice, won 2 battles.
You've brought the wrong thing.
It's an RS4.
These are rally
It's an
cars.
executive car.
Listen, I am older than you two.
And older.
And with age has come wisdom.
Wait.
Greyness. And weight.
Yeah, it is a bit heavy, I admit.
They are a heavy car.
He said dodging that one.
Very
Oh,
good.
sorry.
What?
My phone is buzzing.
Inevitable. Go on. There is no escape, is there? There you go.
Yes.
Even here. Yes.
Mr. Willman. Right, hang on. In order to find out which of your cars is the best, you will drive across what both the BBC and The Guardian call Europe's last great wilderness. You will drive all the way across Norway, Sweden and Finland, never once dropping below the Arctic Circle, and you must get to Ivalo Airport near the Russian border by 5 p.m. on Saturday, because that's when your plane back to the UK leaves. So we've got to, hold on, we've got to get to the finish line in 6 days. What is it, 500-600 miles?
Ooh, we're going to go over
100 miles a
in the
day.
Subaru Impreza.
Oh.
It doesn't sound very tricky this time.
I mean, if we were in convertibles,
or
we're in four-wheel
roller
drive.
skates.
Yes, four-wheel drive saloons. They know. This isn't the clearing up shower, is it? No.
Ow! Ow!
Ow!
Should we get going?
Yes.
Holy cow. To try and find out, each of us bought an American car. And this is what I chose. A 19-foot-long Lincoln Continental Mark V. Remember Jock Ewing out of Dallas? He had one of these. Fat Frank Cannon, the TV detective, he had something very similar. Mark IV, basically the same. And what this means is that when I was growing up, I would see a Lincoln on TV every week, and then I'd turn to my dad and say, Dad, can we have a Ford Cortina? Why didn't I want one of these? Why didn't he? Oh, hello. It's a Buick Riviera
Oh, yeah.
with a self-opening boot. So I'll shut that.
When did that happen?
Just now, as you pulled
Okay,
up.
that's a feature of the model. This is the legendary 1971 Buick Riviera, the boat tail. What?
No, I'm stunned. Well, no, the thing is we said, why did American cars not catch on in Europe?
Yeah.
Did this even catch on in America?
Well, that's the thing. You see, the Riviera was Buick's answer to the Ford Thunderbird. So
Yeah.
from '63, they were making Rivieras, and it was doing well. They were selling quite a few, not as many as the Thunderbird.
Yeah.
So in '71, they said, let's make something really striking, really new, really out there. And they made this, and everybody hated it. Literally. Their advertising materials said, it's like nothing else. And Americans went, Good.
But you're in Fat Frank Cannon celebrity all over it.
Clint Eastwood,
Really?
Jeff Bridges.
Really?
Yes.
Well, they both had this.
Bruce Willis.
Bruce, really? So Frank and Jock.
Yes.
Bruce, Clint and Jeff.
Yes.
And we still ran around in Europe going, I don't know, should we have an Allegro?
We had an
or-"
Allegro estate when this existed.
What do you suppose May's got? No, let me rephrase that. What sort of Cadillac do you suppose May's bought? Eventually, after 20 feet of waiting, we got the answer. The car now arriving at platforms 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. May,
Yes, sir.
we guessed you'd have a Cadillac.
Not just a Cadillac, this is a Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Is it?
The Cadillac of Cadillacs. Honestly, driving this, I feel like Elvis Presley.
What, dead on a lavatory? Oh my God, how much burgundy can you get in one car? It's like an American motel room.
They must have scraped out all the burgundy mines in the world. What colour should we make the seats?
Burgundy.
What about the dash, though?
Burgundy.
Oh, good idea.
But the switch, the button on the end of the cruise control stalk
Burgundy.
is burgundy. Yeah. I was hoping you wouldn't notice that.
Has it fallen off?
Well, I'm going to have to admit to being a bit of a clot. I was driving here and I noticed in my mirror this piece of debris flying away down the road. And I actually thought to myself, do you know what? That's remarkable. That piece of debris is the same burgundy as my car, but without actually thinking, I wonder if it came from it.
I tell you what we should do. Have a game of top trumps. Engine. 6.6 litre V8.
Wow.
Oh, that's
6.6.
cute. What does it use to drive the
Not
car
cute.
along? Is that what starts the engine?
Well, how big's the engine in yours?
7.5.
7.5 litres.
7.5 litre V8.
Oof.
God.
8.2.
8?
8.2 litres. This is the biggest V8 ever fitted to a production car. 8.2 litres.
All right, then. This is more efficient, obviously. How many horsepower?
Mine? 190.
I don't think horsepower matters.
How many horsepower?
181.
That's it.
Yes, from 6.6 litres. I don't know how they did that.
My 7.5 litre V8 lump developed 250 horsepower.
250?
Yeah.
So that's a rocket ship. Despite its villainous presence, though, the price is mad. So I called May and Hammond, and we came up with an idea.
If you are a Chinese businessman or businessman woman and you want a car that reflects your status, you don't need to spend £880,000. You can simply pop over to Europe and buy a Mercedes S-Class like this one. And even though this is the 6-litre V12, it costs me just £8,800. In other words, you could have 100 of these for the price of a honky. At this point, my colleague Richard Hammond arrived in something or other. What is that?
This is a Cadillac STS, and you can shut up.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Good, because this is fitted with one of the best engines of all time. The creamy smooth 4.6 litre North Star V8, making 300 all-American horsepower. That engine was designed so it can run for up to 100 miles with no coolant in it at all, by shutting down one bank of the V8 until it cools, and then the other one, and then the other one. That is clever.
And front-wheel drive?
Yeah. It's a luxury car. Who cares what wheels are being driven, James?
Well, people who care about torque steer, weight distribution, dignified engineering, doing things properly.
All right, I'll cancel all the track days I've entered in it, and I'll just drive around in it as a luxury car.
Anyway, this is the Mercedes S-Class, which, as we know, is really a sort of paradigm for the luxury car, and it's a pioneer of many things that are new on cars and that we all come to see as standard 7 years later. For example, first car to have...
Soft closed doors. How many miles has it done?
180,000.
Yeah, well, I figured.
Where did your car come from?
Germany.
A German? Mm-hmm. Bought a Cadillac. We were then interrupted by the arrival of Clarkson in a BMW. Ooh, I see you've bought the long car.
Yours is long as well.
Are you two been from the 1970s?
No, they're long wheelbase. And this is long.
It is long.
This is the BMW 750iL, as Q called it in the Bond film Tomorrow Never Dies.
Did he?
He did.
He did.
Nobody told it.
Nobody on set said, Desmond, that's not
You
really
would
safe."
think, wouldn't you? Oh, well.
And in the film, they use 740s rebadged. This is the real deal. The 5.4-litre V12, and all I paid for it was £8,400. That is one hell of a lot of car.
I only paid £3,000 for my Cadillac. That's a Cadillac.
Yes, the point I'm going to make is, what kind of a moron in Germany said, there's Audi, there's BMW, there's Mercedes, I should buy a Cadillac? In fact, I know exactly. You know those Germans you see that think they're Hell's Angels? They're dentists, but they have Harley-Davidsons.
Yes.
And they go to the Oktoberfest and they drink Budweiser.
Yes, well, I know the Germans you mean.
Indeed.
No, you're wrong, because the previous owner of that car was an American general living in Germany.
Was
A general.
He was an American general, and he bought that because he recognised what Cadillac intended with that car, which is to take on Audi, BMW, Mercedes directly with that car with the North Star engine.
Oh, yes, they were very successful at that, weren't they? Because Europe is full of Cadillacs.
Yeah, you see them everywhere.
You never see an Audi.
Tripping over these.
Rarity and exclusivity are part of luxury.
Let's have a look at yours.
Mine, honestly, is in perfect nick. It's
I saw that.
absolutely fine.
I saw that.
So what?
That's got
Nothing
double
to see.
glazing and it has gone wrong.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on.
What's the disease? It's got...
Is that, James, is that between the panes?
Yeah, it's got
Incredible.
mumps.
That's the most depressing. A double glazed window with mildew in
What's the
between it.
matter?
You've got mildew inside your windows.
Where?
There.
Yeah.
Well, it's
That's really poor. Oh, my God. Basically, it's disappearing before your eyes.
How can a German car go? Are you
it.
sure it's a real one?
Was it parked in the sea when you bought it?
Let's not
Down here.
get bogged down with the oxidisation of my car. Soon I reached the meeting point where I found James, who'd bought an XK8 convertible. Here we are, look. A big cat near an old dog. Greetings, mate.
Moron. It's not a Subaru. You're supposed to be upholding the reputation of the Jag driver.
And why have you bought that?
Because it's excellent.
It isn't.
It is.
No, this was a very poor Jaguar.
No, this was a very good Jaguar.
It wasn't. You could go camping in the wheel arches of it. Look, it was so high up. They looked all right when they were supercharged and lower, but this
No,
is...
but they didn't work properly when they were supercharged and lower because they had a terrible ride. The one thing you get from a Jag is a nice ride. You're disconnected from the
Yes.
world. That's the point. Anyway.
And those wheels, what's the matter? There's no anyway about it. That's the best Jag probably ever made. Well, it is.
No.
Tell me, what's wrong with that?
One of the wheels is odd.
Yes, right, I know exactly what's happened here. Previous owners had a puncture. He simply borrowed a wheel from another car to use.
And he's going to give it back.
Of course he is.
Yeah,
Because he drives a Jag.
Exactly.
And look in here.
It looks as if there's been a knife fight in the car.
That's because he went to stay with some friends, obviously, thought, I'll borrow their cutlery, tucked it into his trousers, and then he's cut his seat. That's what's happened. At this point, Mr. Hammond hoved into view. God, is that a Mark 10?
That is a Mark 10. That's a properly villainous Jag.
That is a proper Jag.
Jag. Oh, yes.
Whatever you do, OK, do not tell him that.
No. Hammond, you idiot.
What?
Well, we're supposed to be upholding the reputation of Jaguar. You've brought an antique, you've brought an old piece of furniture.
I am celebrating and reveling in the glories of Jaguar. This is 1967 420G. Look at this front end started with this car. That's the Jaguar look, isn't it? The four headlamps, the narrow
Hammond,
grille.
seriously, what is that?
It's a 420G. This was the
No,
favourite...
not that. That.
This was my jacket. I thought, a bit of style. We're in Jaguars.
There's no style in the jacket at all.
This is riddled with style, mate.
That is
Some of your jackets are terrible, but I can't...
Anyway, this was favoured by every villainous bank robber and baddie in and around England in the 60s.
And how much did you pay for it?
£6,500.
What?
I know. That is a lot of car for £6,500. Look at the size of it.
Hammond, that is £2,500 more than I paid for a supercharged Jaguar.
That is Jaguar's embarrassing attempt to recapture their own design that started with this, the 4 headlamps, the narrow grille. This is definitive. Your car is derivative.
And Hammond wasn't finished there.
Look at the size of this. Imagine how many oil paintings borrowed I could get in there.
It smells terrible.
Toolkit.
Let me have a look.
That's for opening windows.
This is no.
This is not necessarily for fixing the car.
None of it. That's for cutting through somebody's fence. This is for undoing the paintings from the walls. Or the Jaguar toolkit is just for burglary.
It's got Jemmy in it.
The meeting point was on the shores of the Black Sea, and naturally enough, James May was the last to arrive in the new BMW 8 Series. God, it doesn't look anything like as good in the flesh as it does in the pictures.
It is disappointing in the metal. I'm afraid that's the case.
And brown!
What?
Brown!
It's sunburst orange.
Mate, that's a brown car.
It's sunburst orange, it's not brown.
It's brown!
Orange.
And it looks very like a Toyota.
No,
Is
it
it on
doesn't.
delivery wheels? Are they specially for delivering it?
What are you talking
No,
about?
there's
Like
little
casters.
wheels that they can move it
that's
around
what I
on.
mean, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well, they're not big enough, are they?
Can you have a 22-inch wheel?
No.
Why not?
Well, why would you want a 22-inch wheel?
Because
It
then
would
it would-
spoil the ride.
It would fill the arches.
Yeah.
Oh! And I suspect criminal offence.
What?
Anyone who puts an M badge on a BMW that isn't an M BMW has to go to prison.
So this is one of those M cars that isn't an M
It
car.
isn't
They've
an
done
M
that
car,
before.
is it?
No, it's not the M8. That
why does
comes
it say
later.
M on it?
Because it's the M Sport, in
a
effect.
fake.
as
So
well. It's
M
not a fake.
Sport just means not an M, doesn't it?
But it's in between the M and the normal cars. That's why you have M Sport 5 Series,
Not
for
an M.
example.
This is like Elton John's greatest hits without your song or Tiny Dancer on it.
James, I don't want to be childish about this now, but I hate...
Do you not?
I hate
But
your,
you're going to.
I hate your gear lever.
I love it.
Look at it.
I think that's fantastic.
And the rest, it's horrible gear lever and a boring interior.
That's contemporary and tasteful. Let's have a look at yours. What have you got? Oh, you've got
Oh,
the new
where?
Bentley
Oh,
that's
the
the same as
Bentley.
the old Bentley.
Apart from being a completely new car.
Yeah, but it looks the same.
It doesn't look the same. It's completely different front end, different sides.
Oh, no, it looks like an
different back.
Aventador. No.
It's a completely new car.
This monochrome Union Jack applied by Germans.
Yes. There is some German influence.
Chassis, German.
Yeah,
Engine,
yeah,
German.
yeah. Oh, no! The Germans have done all the tech and engineering. That'll... No, wait, it'll be brilliant. What?
It's a bit...
It's
I use the word advise. It's a bit camp.
That is a special...
camp.
It is.
What's camp
It's
about
all
that?
pleated and leathery and... Ugh.
It does give good occasion, that.
That is a special event.
Does Liberace pop up out of the centre console and play the piano for you?
You see, the reason I'm not having a go at your interior is my Aston has been delivered with Birmingham spec.
That's horrible.
Oh, that's quite vivid, isn't it? I mean, worryingly for you, I quite like that.
You like that, exactly.
So this is, it's a DB11
No, well, no, it's the DBS. Superleggera.
because it's very light, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what Superleggera means, yeah?
It's 72 kilograms lighter than a DB11.
And no more expensive.
Well, it's a bit more expensive.
How much more expensive?
It's £67,000 more
Yes.
than DB11.
And how much is it?
A lot.
Is it something like £250,000?
No!
What is it then?
A bit less.
230?
A bit less.
225?
Yes.
Mine's £100,000. It's contemporary and it's modern. There's no good saying, oh, it looks Japanese, as if that's a slur. The Japanese advanced the car massively in the last century.
James had chosen the Rolls-Royce Dawn, a new two-door drop-head version of the Ghost. And I'd be in the DB11, the latest in a long line of elegant and beautiful Aston Martin Grand Tourers. Even its door mirrors are beautiful. Its wheels are beautiful. This is This is one of the most beautiful cars I've ever seen.
Shame it's brown.
It isn't brown.
Yes, it is.
It isn't brown, it's sunset orange.
It's not brown in the way that my car is green. It's brown.
Your car is a convertible BMW 7 Series.
No, it isn't.
But is it a 7 Series underneath?
Well, bits of the floor pan
There
are.
you go. £265,000 for a convertible 7 Series.
It isn't.
If you're going to drive across Italy, which we're going to do, taking in some culture, that's what you need.
A brown car.
It isn't brown.
It's brown.
Look, let's not bicker. Actually, on this occasion, let's get on. We are both going to drive across what is, I think, our favourite country in the world, enjoy some culture, enjoy some fine wine, some food, some art. What was that? Hammond.
Sorry I'm late.
Well, we didn't know you were coming.
We rather hoped you were.
Well, I am, and look at the car I brought. Dodge Challenger SRT Hellcat. 707 American horsepower and enough torque to pull that old building down. Just
That old building is at... Oh, well, never mind.
Hammond, Tuscany, not really the home of the muscle car.
yeah, you see, I was worried you two were going to be all boring and serious. And I am here to make sure this trip is fun, because don't tell me the original Grand Tour wasn't fun. It was like an 18th century cannonball run, only with old-fashioned morphine instead of cocaine. This is going to be brilliant.
What's with your advertising?
Well, because the Americans used to do the Grand Tour, and they used to get sponsors to help cover the costs. So I've got myself some
What,
sponsorship.
Bobby's, what is a grit?
Isn't it a bit left over after coffee or potatoes?
I don't know.
It's what's there.
Rodeo Lubentune.
Tune. Yep. Look at that. The thing is, people will look at me in that and know I am on a Grand Tour. You, they'll just say, what are these two old farts doing?
Seriously,
You have made no effort. You haven't got into the mood for this.
art, music, culture.
Refinement.
Yes. Is this something to do with you?
Yes, they're here. These are my spare tyres. Because on a trip like this, in a car with that much power and that much torque, I'm going to get through some tyres.
Tree.
Yeah. That lot was not going to fit in the boot or trunk, was it? That is luxury. That is Grand Touring.
Reluctantly, we agreed to let our vulgar colleague tag along.